This is a little video trainer for the Inficon 6000, and this is the display. Let me back up some. The way this works is you press the display button first, and that brings up this menu, and it actually tells you executive is 7, data is 8, IO is 9, test on and off or up and down arrows, and you can use the up and down arrows, but we don't do any of that. Display 2, if I do, let me back up, display 2, this brings up the program for silver. Now it usually overwrites the first reading, but if you use a down arrow, it puts it in. The density of silver is 10.49 gram per cubic centimeter. All the things on the first page you ignore, unless, well, there are two ramps: soak P1, T1, and soak T1. This is how long it ramps the power up to 12%, and then it ramps it up to 18%. We just ran this. I'm going to back this off to 16%, and you press 16 and then the enter key and see if it changes. And then here's where the thicknesses are controlled. We have, if you use the up and down arrow, you can move it up and down. And right now I have it set for 2,500 angstroms at 3.5 angstroms a second. And so this will run that. It has a thickness limit and a final thickness, but we make them both the same right now. It has a max power of 25%. Over on the next page, there's a rate ramp 1, which starts at 2.42 kiloangstroms, 2,420 angstroms. It drops the rate to 0.5 angstrom over an 8-second time period, and that's it. So if you then press abort, reset, now you're ready as long as you have the power. This is the silver filament 1 and 2, which are the two we're using. You'll then put this switch in remote and turn on the power to the filament. And what I do when you're running it and you want the program to go, you go to auto on the shutter control. What I'm going to do right now is put it on manual open, and that opens the shutter. And we're going to just watch it for a second. I'm going to press start, and you'll see it starts here to ramp over a 30-second time period. It's going to ramp up to 13 or 12% power, which was that first ramp. And then it's going to wait for a little bit. So, and here's the time left in the ramp. So here's the power, here's the time left on the ramp. So now it's going to wait there at 8 seconds. And this is warming up the filament. And then it's going to ramp again to the 16% I just programmed over 10 seconds. And then it's going to soak there for 1 minute. Because now you're talking about how long it takes the filament to actually warm up. So now it's waiting for a minute. Right here is the angstroms per second that it's actually measuring. And this is the accumulated angstroms, so it just got 1 angstrom on it. And normally, because I have it on auto or manual open shutter, this is the amount that goes on the bottom of the shutter. So now we're at 0.9 angstroms a second up to 1. So this is like warming up the filament, warming up the silver, and it's just beginning to plate. So we've had 22, 25 angstroms accumulate. Normally this wouldn't be measured because the shutter would be closed. And you'll see this reset when it gets to 0. So 70, 75. You usually want some metal plated on the bottom of the filament. So when the shutter opens there, it reset. Now it's going to try to go to the 3.5 angstroms a second by adjusting the power. And now it's going to drop the power because it was a little bit high. This is the difference between the targeted value and what you want. I'm going to press abort reset because I don't want to go to the whole ends. Anyway, so that's how it works. Select the filament. I'm going to go ahead and close the shutter. If you put it in auto shutter, then it opens the shutter whenever it's supposed to. And I'm going to turn off the power to the filament and leave it set in this position.